Growing pay gap between executives and the average worker is the target of new regulations coming into force in Britain from January the 1st. UK-listed companies will have to monitor, reveal and justify the difference in salaries between the boardroom and the shop floor. Paul Brennan reports from London as part of our series looking at new laws for 2019.
The glass and metal towers of London's financial district symbolise the success and sometimes excess of Britain's top companies. While enforced public austerity has kept a lid on the average working wage, the eye-watering salaries and extraordinary bonuses of the top UK bosses have sparked outrage. In 2017 alone, the salary of top bosses jumped 11% to $4.9 million.
Over the past 20 years or so, we've seen the pay of a FTSE 100 CEO go from about 50 or 60 times that of the average UK worker to more like 150 times. Now, there's been no real justification for that in terms of company performance, so I definitely think it is the case that there's been a major corporate governance or policy failure somewhere along the line.
Among a string of high-profile controversies in 2018 was the $95 million bonus paid to Jeff Fairburn, CEO of the house builder Persimmon. The public outrage cost him his job. The Royal Mail paid its new chief executive, Rico Back, a $7.3 million signing-on fee, despite 70% of shareholders objecting. And a shareholder revolt at BT failed to block a $2.9 million package for Gavin Patterson, the departing chief executive.
Remuneration committees have been required for a long time now to take into account pay and conditions elsewhere in the company when setting executive pay, and they have absolutely failed to do this.
From January 2019, listed companies with more than 250 employees must calculate and publicise the pay ratio between the boss and the average worker. The Institute of Directors supports the new rules, although it says some comparisons will be more useful than others.
But if for the same company you're seeing, say, the pay ratio increase from one year to the next, so top exec pay moving upwards at a faster rate than that of the average employee, that could give rise to legitimate questions in the sense that you're describing.
And if companies refuse to moderate themselves, there is scope for further government intervention.
Perhaps policies from the government in relation to their procurement activities or in relation to the tax system that would favour the companies with lower pay ratios and penalise those with the vast gaps that have become increasingly commonplace in recent years.
The new pay ratio regulations should strengthen shareholders' ability to block excessive deals and could shame companies into actually complying. But UK boardrooms have shown themselves to be remarkably brazen despite public criticism, and more may yet be needed in order to rein in the worst excesses. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, the City of London.